Hello, my name is Carrie with Cookbook Divas, and today I'm looking through Buvette, The Pleasure of Good Food by Jody Williams. Let's check it out. It has a foreword by Mario Batali. Let's see, this came out a long time ago, relatively speaking. Jody Williams with Julia Turshen, who's now super famous. I think this came out in 2014. Not that long ago, but in cookbook years, that's a lot. Let's check out the table of contents. Mornings, coffee and tea. Afternoons, jambon et fromage. Aperitifs, evenings, sweets, the larder, and a section called a self-taught cook. Okay, here's Mario. Buvette, I'm guessing, is a restaurant. Am I right? San Francisco, Berkeley, etc. Not sure what's happening. Don't have time to find out right now, but I'll go back and read it later. Okay, a big introduction. Notes before you start. Let's get to the recipes. Mornings. Ooh, starting off nice with a menu for breakfast in bed, including an omelet, toast with orange and Campari marmalade. Yum. Freshly squeezed orange juice. Or here's a menu for a brunch gathering. Let's see. Starting off with an egg dish, broiled eggs. Ooh, I'm loving the photography so far. Here's something I've never made. Duck eggs with brown butter and sage. That sounds good. Ramps and eggs. Okay, the fact they call this ramps makes me think this is a British cookbook. Poached eggs over scaffata. Not sure what that is. So far, lots of egg recipes. More eggs. More eggs. Here's a frittata with zucchini and squash blossoms. I wish I had a reliable source for squash blossoms. They're a little hard to find, even though I live near Seattle. Asparagus Milanese. So you get the drift. So far, we're off to a great start. Here's something called a piperade or piperade, a traditional southwestern French dish of sweet bell peppers and pork. But here they make it with spicy chorizo. Here's crepes. Americans would say crepes. Brioche and bomboloni. Wow. So I'm getting the drift. This is not a beginner French cookbook. It's a little more involved. But any of us could make ricotta fritters, and that sounds like a great idea. Here's buttermilk waffles and waffle sandwiches. Okay, that's not too fancy and difficult. So you get the drift of the breakfast chapter. Let me skip ahead. It's a giant cookbook, so I'm trying to lift it up carefully. Part 2, coffee and tea. An entire chapter devoted to coffee and tea. That is a French cookbook. Here's afternoons, afternoon menu. Here's staff masala chai, cold pressed coffee. We know how to make cold pressed coffee. Now, we're in part 3, afternoons. Okay. A croque monsieur sandwich. Schiacciata dough. Schiacciata? Don't know how to say that. Why is an Italian thing in a French cookbook? Oh well. Celery root remoulade. A pinzimonio, whatever that is. I'm going to learn a lot from this book. Roast chicken salad with haricots verts with mustard vinaigrette. Green beans. A fava bean salad. You know, the French are so good about having delicious salads at every meal. I could learn from that. Here's yellow wax beans with basil pesto. I like yellow wax beans. I don't always prepare them because I'm like, what do I put with them? Pesto sounds like a great idea. Warm potatoes with anchovies. It doesn't get more French than that. Old-fashioned lemonade. Put some bourbon in there for me. A raw artichoke salad. I'm not sure how that works because they're hard to chew. Steamed artichokes. Now you're talking. We're still in afternoon. A winter legume soup. So this must be the lunch-ish chapter. Okay. Jambon et fromage. Something in cheese. I'm guessing meat. I don't remember what that word means. Baked figs and fruit and parchment paper. Not a great picture. Kind of tiny. Sad face. Pesto di Parma. How about a little advice on hams? Maybe ham is jambon. Aperitifs? Yay, now you're speaking my language. Breakfast radishes with bagna cotta. Don't know how to say that word, so I'm skipping that page. Rosemary potato chips. Hey, that sounds good. And marinated oranges with orange zest and red chili. Apple and cheese fricos. Yum! Let's skip ahead. Oxtail marmalade. Salmon roulettes with horseradish. Okay, let's keep going. Let's find a new chapter. I'm trying to get there. Haha! Evenings. Ooh la la. Leeks in vinaigrette. That looks incredible. What do you think about that? Vichy carrots. Slow roasted fennel in bitter orange vinaigrette. I'm not a big fennel fan. It's too licoricey, but that you can convince me. Beets with almonds and horseradish creme fraiche. Wow. Lentils with kale and shallots. That seems healthy to make up for the pastries that I'm sure are coming somewhere in this book. A tartiflette. That looks really messy and good and hearty and comforting on a cold winter's night. But I'm suspecting there's meat in there. Okay. Risotto with green apples, sage, and fontina. As a vegetarian, I get served a lot of risotto in French and Italian restaurants. Steak tartare, of course. Meatballs. I thought this was a French cookbook. Aren't meatballs Italian? Well, whatever. Roasted heirloom apples filled with pork sausage. And cassoulet. I love making cassoulet at home because I can make it vegetarian, and I love cassoulet. It's a lot of work, but then you make a double batch and you serve it again. Rabbit a la moutarde, mustard rabbit. And grilled oysters with shallots. It's hard to take a good picture of oysters, but that looks pretty good. They did a good job. Okay. Lobster Americaine and croûte. Wow. And now we're at the desserts. Madeleines, of course. A tarte tatin. Some very simple desserts to entertain with. And the larder, they're talking about pickling things. Okay, wow. This is not a beginner cookbook, but if you are getting serious about your French cooking and want to make stuff as though you were running a bistro or a French restaurant, this would be a great place to start. Buvette, The Pleasure of Good Food by Jody Williams. I love it. I personally wouldn't own it because my cooking skills are not quite ready for all that. But I'm going to probably sneak back through, take a look at the cassoulet recipe and the leeks. That looked so good, and I'll probably make those tomorrow. You never know. Or I'll go to a restaurant because I'm lazy. Thanks for watching. You can see more of our cookbook look-throughs, reviews, previews, etc. videos on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Pinterest, and our website at cookbookdivas.com.